Good evening. We'll call this meeting to order. This is the Vergne Board of Zoning Appeals, September 30th, 2014, regular meeting at 5:30 p.m. I call this meeting to your order. We do have a quorum. All members are present. Does everyone have the minutes of the last meeting in front of them, and have they had a chance to read them?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, none. The minutes are approved as presented. Tonight we have two items of new business. We have number one, a sign variance requested by Chris Everts, SGA Design, on behalf of Walmart, property located at the intersection of Fergus and Murfreesboro Road, C2, Highway Service Commercial, Zoning District, parcel owned by North Star Limited Liability Corporation. May we have the report, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. In your packet before you, you have a series of elevations for the proposed signage for the Walmart, which is proposed to go at the intersection of Murfreesboro and Fergus Road. It was approved several months back, and they have put in for a sign package which slightly exceeds our allowable sign provisions per the municipal zoning ordinance. And just like previous retail developments that have come through recently, Speedway, Clean Energy, the applicant is asking for some relief from the provisions for signage to allow them to have the more standard corporate-driven sign package that they normally utilize at their stores. So you can see on the screen that is the parcel. It's approximately 41 acres, about 42 acres at the intersection, and that is the site plan that was approved. This is sheet one. Well, I guess I'll go through the three individual sheets that you have before you, because they are asking for a couple of different variances for the retail portion. The front facade, if you see on the first page, they have one main sign right there, the traditional Walmart white lettering with the orange spark. That is proposed to be 298 square feet, which currently exceeds our allowable wall sign provisions. However, the city has been working to amend that provision for big box retail. It has gone through one reading of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. It has not, hasn't been finalized yet, but they are doing the second reading next week. Okay. So assuming that does pass, wall signs for big box retail developments will be allowed to be up to 10% of the wall frontage if that frontage has street frontage. So, in addition to the Walmart sign with the name and the logo, they also have proposed five, and it's easier to read on your sheet. There are five smaller, I call them directional departmental signs. I apologize, I guess this needs a new battery. At any rate, these facades read outdoor living, auto center, home and pharmacy, pharmacy drive-through, and market. Just like you see at the Kroger grocery store and other similar large format retail centers, it helps to identify where to park, where to walk in for large stores such as this. This is proposed to be a 189,000 square foot store with about 800 parking spaces. So these signs are, while they are technically more than what's allowed, they do serve a purpose, and they're not really advertising, so to speak. So if we move on to sheet number 2, this is for the fueling station building. They are only proposing one sign on the front of their building, so that's fine. If you move on to the third sheet, this is for the fueling station kiosk, the actual canopies. They're basically asking for an extra sign on each canopy instead of just having one Walmart logo, they're asking for two, and they're asking to also have the digital fuel price reader on the canopy as well. Technically, the gas station pumps are only allowed very limited decals that are, it's more federal regulations for the fuels. They're asking for one per pump. It would be for a total of 16. So again, this is a very large development. It's along with obviously a very commercial corridor. Their sign request, all of the signs are white with the exception of the spark, which is orange. It's fairly neutral. So that being said, they're asking for a variance to allow the sign package with the hopes that you will agree that it is necessary and will not detract from the overall site and the surroundings.
The idea of having the Walmart sign on the canopy on two sides, is that because of, it faces Murfreesboro Road and Fergus Road?
Yes, that is correct.
Any board members have any questions? No, I'm good. Is there a representative here from Walmart? Would you take the podium, please? Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Chris Everts. I work for SGA Design Group, 1437 South Boulder, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You have any comments you'd like to make in addition to what the city planner has made?
Kristen did a great job summing it up. We're just basically asking for what we typically use as a proto package on a supercenter that's almost 190,000 square feet. It does seem like a lot of signage, but when you actually look at the elevations and you see how big the building is and where each sign is located, they are mainly for directional purposes, except for our main brand sign on the front. There's a market above the entry, so people know which side to go in. There's a home and garden, so people know which entrance to go in there, as well as directional for the pharmacy drive-through and the outdoor living. It's all basically directional. We have a large parking field. It's easier for people when they're pulling into the parking field, see which side of the building they need to go into so they can park, and it helps with congestion and helps with pedestrian safety in the parking field as well. So that's why we're requesting it for the building. As far as the fuel station goes, it's primarily a normal package. Any other fuel station you see, they have their name up on the canopy sign. They have a digital price up on the canopy as well too. As far as the pumps go, yes, we are asking for a little bit more than what is allowed by code. But basically, it's just the normal brand. It says Walmart, save money, live better. They're just the normal decals they like to stick on the pumps. So that's why we want to advertise, that you're actually at a Walmart fueling station on each pump.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any board members have any questions of the representative?
I have one question. Do you know what the total linear footage is for the front?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Let's see.
You should have an answer.
Do it in my head real quick. So used to doing this all the time, but different size buildings. It's 180, so it's approximately on average 24 feet, plus or minus in height. It's close to 600 feet in length.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
So.
I was going to agree, and I do have a copy of the site plan if anybody does want to see it. So.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick question on the gas station. The lighting is just the backlit, or just the words are lit? It's not projecting forward. It's just illuminating the Walmart sign.
On the gas station, on the canopy, or
Yeah,
on the
canopy,
building?
on
On
the
the canopy, they're actually lights that sit above the Walmart sign and are directed down. They're shielded down, and they just shine directly on the Walmart only.
Okay.
So there's hardly any spillage that actually flows into the fuel pump area as well.
Okay.
Any other questions of this representative? Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, thank you.
Are there any citizens here that would like to speak for or against this application? There being none, is there any discussion? There being none,
I
yes.
have one, the only thing I have a question is, we're going to vote on something that hasn't passed on the variance relief from allowable signage requirement. that we're going to vote on something that hasn't passed through the second reading?
Actually, we're going to consider and vote that notwithstanding the fact that the Planning Commission is considering that. Whether or not the Planning Commission approves or does not approve that, would we still approve it?
Just correct that the Planning Commission will pass on a favourable recommendation to the Mayor Alderman, so it's in the Mayor Alderman's hands at the present time.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Do I hear a motion to approve or disapprove the application?
I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this application. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. It passes unanimously. The second item of new business is the interstate on-sign variance, again requested by Chris Everett, SGA Design, on behalf of Walmart. The same property, parcel owned by North Star Limited Liability Corporation. May we have the report on this item, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Before you, you have another request for, this is, we call this an interstate on-sign variance request. The applicant is asking for the erection of a somewhat taller pole sign to go at the main entrance along Murfreesboro Road. And of course, these slides are all the same, except for this one here. This shows the site, and this is approximately where the entrance is going to go, right there. And the topography of this site, we've got, it's about 574 on either corner. Where the main entrance sits is about 560, so there's about a 15-foot drop down. And the applicant has asked for an interstate on-sign, which is a pole sign that is 50 feet, it's got to be at least 50 feet in height. And they're allowed to have up to 300 square feet of copy area, which is slightly larger than a regular pole sign, which is maxed out at 30 feet in height on 125 square feet in copy area. The purpose of these is to allow greater visibility as motorists are either approaching your town or coming through your town, so that they can see up ahead that there is retail, restaurants, what have you. The definition of an interstate on-sign is a sign that's located no more than 3,000 linear foot radius from the center of the interchange and within 1,000 feet from the interstate right-of-way. Sign must be a minimum of 50 feet in height. Now, that being said, the Planning Commission and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen amended that definition back in 2013 to allow applicants that feel the need for more appropriate signage for their type of development to allow the Board of Zoning Appeals to review and possibly grant an interstate on-sign if they're not within that locational requirement. So if you recall Nacarado, which was down on 24,
Yes.
Sure. So the reasoning for this request is A, the topography. The sign is going to be sitting down in kind of in a bowl. As you approach this site from Smyrna, there is a lot of grade change. Actually, as you approach it from the other side of the city as well. This parcel sits at the corner of Fergus and Murfreesboro Road, but it doesn't actually include the corner. So if they had wanted to put a sign on their corner, which sits at that higher elevation, they can't because that's not actually part of their parcel. The interstate on-signs are also, they reflect a larger scale of development, which this is going to be a rather large commercial development, the first of its kind in the city. It also marks, I think of it as sort of an anchor as you come into the city. This new development will kind of frame the commercial corridor as you go through the city of Laverne. So I think that the slightly larger sign will reflect that, the scale of the development. They also will be advertising the fuel pricing for the gas station on the sign. So while an interstate on-sign is allowed 300 square feet, they're only proposing 232. again, while this is not right off the interchange, it is in a transitional area between Laverne and Smyrna. It's close to the interchange with State Route 266 and the proximity to the Sam Ridley commercial complex. And I believe that the presence of a slightly taller sign will signify that you have reached a large commercial center for the residents and anybody coming to Laverne who's not familiar with the area.
Okay. They don't own the corner, which is actually on the corner of Murfreesboro Road and Fergus.
That is correct. There's 4 acres here that are not part of.
Who owns that?
It's the Kroger company. It's not, it hasn't been closed on, or there's no approved plans for commercial development, but that broker is working with some commercial entities to also develop that corner at some point.
Is it conceivable that someone would move in there and possibly request signage or building clearance or something that would block the view of the Walmart refueling station or the sign or anything like that?
Depending on, it's hard to say. I suppose that could certainly be a possibility as people travel from Smyrna into Laverne. Depending on how this corner develops, this is really worthless. It could potentially block the view of the fueling center. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Everts, would you take the stand again? No need to be sworn in again. Any board members have any questions of the representative? Any questions? Sorry, you may be seated.
Sorry, Chris.
Are there any citizens here that want to voice either objection or okay approval of this application? There being none, is there any discussion by the board? There being none, I'll open it up to hear a motion for either approval or disapproval of the application. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve it.
There's a motion on the floor to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? It passes unanimously. That is the end of the business that we have before us this evening. Therefore, since there is no other business to consider, this meeting is adjourned.